Okay, all you KTM fanboys and KTM haters, here's a video on what it took to keep my 2021 KTM 500 EXE running over the last 2 years, over 300 hours and 18,000 kilometers on the clock. If you find what I've done way off or similar to you, either way, if you have some comments, leave them down below. I'd love to hear what it took to keep your 500 going. If you find the video helpful, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. This bike is ridden hard. It's not babied. It's ridden every week. Probably lives its life at the rev limiter. It's been used for 3 or 4 rallies over the last 2 years and routinely used as my training bike. At 220 hours, I opted to replace the top end. We did a leak down test and we were sitting at like 80%. I found that the engine is one of the special ones that does not like aftermarket kits. So after going through 2 of them and still having oil issues, we opted for a KTM factory OEM piston kit or top end kit, and that solved the problem. This is a rally setup bike, so most of its life it spends high speed running 120, 130, 140k an hour. That's probably where it lives most of its life. I don't do a lot of technical riding. I replaced the clutch at 100 hours on it in preparation for a race, so I use that clutch as my spare now. I did put in a heavy duty clutch at the when I replaced it, so this clutch now has 200 hours on it and I'm getting ready to replace it, but it shows no sign of slippage. I do most maintenance myself, and I opt to replace parts as they wear down before they fail. So I do go through the parts, and if I see something either in my list that is showing it's got a lot of hours on it, or upon inspection it shows wear, I go ahead and replace that part ahead of time. And that, I think, has led to my 100% success rate, where it has not failed me or broken down on a trail or on a ride. So let's run through what I've done. 18 oil changes, 11 oil filters, 8 rear tires, 5 rear mousses, 4 front tires, 4 front mousses, 3 sets of chain and sprockets, 2 rear wheel bearings, 3 front wheel bearings. I also either clean or change the air filter almost after every ride, so I guess I'm in the ballpark of 50 or 75 air filter changes, if not more. Now here are some key points. I try to do an oil change every 15 hours or so. I'm not anal about it. If it's a little bit over, a little bit under, I'll go ahead and change it. And then I do a filter every other oil change. When we pulled the top end off, my mechanic looked at me and asked me what the heck I'd been doing, because he said it was the cleanest piston with 200 hours on it he had seen. So whatever I'm doing seems to be working, and this is how I've done it for the last 3 bikes. I'm not going to go into what type of oil I use. I'll just say it's synthetic. I'm not going to go down that road, so don't even bother to ask. As far as tires go and mousses, I generally use Michelin Enduro medium rear tires with a Michelin, just a normal mousse. And then on the front, I prefer a Pirelli Scorpion Rally tire with a Pirelli Scorpion or Pirelli Rally mousse. If I'm planning a race on the bike, then I will switch this out both sides for Michelin Desert race tires and mousses, although I still really do prefer the Pirelli Scorpion up front. I've only gone through 1 set of fork seals, but I've had the suspension redone twice for me. I've also had a few things here and there. I've replaced the chain slider a few times. I've also had to replace one of the engine mounts that cracked. I think that was around 200 hours. I'm going to replace the clutch that's in it right now. I think 200 hours is plenty on it. I hope that lays it out for some of you that own this or considering buying one, and you want to know what a real world cost of ownership is. Thanks for watching, and if you like the video, please leave a like down below, and if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit subscribe.